From the John DeVito Broadcast Center, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. So sit back and enjoy Paranormal Radio. And now, here he is, the number one king of Paranormal Radio, Mr. Bob Trisek.
Thank you, John. Every month that we do the show, you're adding a little something to it here. You're changing around. Now I'm the number one king. I don't know how. Is that kind of like an oxymoron? The number one king? Isn't there like only one king? I mean,
could be number two.
Could you have like two kings, or maybe if you had a co-rulership? I don't know. Yeah, but that would be the queen. It wouldn't be another king.
Yeah, that's true.
Anywho, thank you so much. We are back on the air here. A nice June night here. Kind of cool for June, but I'm enjoying that. I don't like the real hot weather. Taping the show on the 11th here, and of course you will be hearing it later, and then in a few days you'll be able to hear the broadcast on YouTube. Just one announcement I want to do, because that will be coming up. I didn't plan on doing a show for June, July, and August, but then I wound up with June, July shows, because I thought, I'll take the summer off, and then we'll start the shows back up and again in September. But here we are doing a June show, which is fine with me. Don't mind doing that. And then for July, we're doing something a little special. For the July show, which will be on July 17th, we'll be out at the Gathering Lighthouse, and that is out in Lombard. I do not have their exact address with me, but they have a wonderful page, a Facebook page, Gathering Lighthouse. You can go to it and have all their information posted on that. And on July 17th, Windy City, we're taking the show out on the road, and we're going to be doing a live broadcast. Well, not a live broadcast, I should say. We'll be taping the broadcast there. We'll be doing it live, but it's going to be taped there, so you won't hear it that night. But it'll, just like you hear when we tape them, you hear them in a day or two. They're on YouTube, and then on the Windy City Network, and then on Thursdays or Wednesdays on Jack FM, you hear the broadcasts done. So we'll be doing that out there. So we'll have some input for some of the people there, and whoever wants to stop in. And Pete, if you have nothing going on that night, you're welcome to come out there.
We shall see.
Yeah, you're welcome to come out. Yeah, so that's good. Anybody that was a guest on the show, if you want to stop out and say something and just how do you do, and get yourself known a little bit to the Lighthouse group over there, fine. You're welcome to come on that show. So that would be July 17th, that will be. So that's going to be after the holidays. A lot of stuff going on. Actually, geez, I'm kind of busy with things like I normally am, like for the fall, for October and that, but this year's kind of weird. Like May and June are kind of busy months for me here with the different paranormal things going on. The 14th, June 14th, this Thursday, I'm going to be over at Irish Legends. There again, I'm bad at numbers, so I don't know the addresses, but it's right across the street from the old Willowbrook Ballroom, what's left of it.
Just look for the ashes.
The pile of bricks, actually, is not too much left now. Now they even put fence up around it. You could before walk out there, just walk around on what used to be.
Yeah, last time I drove by, somebody died right outside the place.
Somebody did what?
Yeah.
Somebody died?
Got hit by a truck.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so we'll have another ghost.
When was this? Recently?
About a week ago or so.
Really?
Yeah.
The address, Bob, is 8902.
That's Irish Legends?
Yes, that's what we did
where we did the broadcast in April.
Right across the street from the old Willowbrook Ballroom.
That's it. So 8902 Archer Road?
That's right.
That's it. Okay, 8902 Archer Road, Irish Legends. Anyway, that will be this Thursday, the 14th. I will be there from about 4 o'clock or so until 9, 10, whenever, and I'll be doing palm readings there with that. So I know we get a nice turnout for that, too, because people like to come out for that. So and they like the Irish Legends. They got a lot of things going on at the Irish Legends there. So if you got nothing going on this Thursday evening, stop by there and have a chit-chat. Have something to eat with them and get your palm read. See what's going on in your life through that. Okay, I'm not going to do too many more announcements. That's all I'm going to do, because we can start with announcements, and they just seem to go on. Oh, also, too, I have to say, too, because I put this up on my Facebook page, next show, which will be next Monday. We don't normally do this. I do the shows once a month, but this I thought we'll do 2 shows for June, because this I thought was kind of worthwhile. And it was actually a show on nothing to do with the paranormal at all, but more like a public service about heroin addiction. And there's a lady that I listened to, PJ, for Lord have mercy, I'm so bad at this, PJ not Cullerton, I don't know what her last name was, but anyway, she was supposed to come on the show and say this. She's an advocate against heroin addiction in particular and all this. She's had some experience with that, and we're going to have a couple of guys come on, one guy that's actually a recovering addict and one who is a current addict of this, and talk about this and just do like a public service on this. However, I can't get a hold of any of them.
They're all high right now.
Something must be going on. I don't know. The thought came into my head, but I don't want to say that. But I did leave Miss PJ a message on Facebook, so hopefully she responds to me. And she's still interested in doing the show next week. So that show we may or may not be doing now. I don't know. John, I will let you know. Towards the end of the week, if I was able to contact any of these folks. I had this set up like 2 months ago, and everybody was, yeah, okay, and then now you can't get a hold of them, so we'll see how it goes. You know how this works. Mm-hmm. This has happened before. So we'll see how that works. So we may do that show or may not, but like I said, I did post that on Facebook, so I don't like to put things up there, and then we don't do them, and it kind of makes us look bad. So, okay, so that's where we're at with that. Tonight's show, Mr. Interesting himself, Mr. Pete Crapia.
Hello.
Hi, Pete. Welcome back. It's always nice having you here.
It's great being here.
Yeah, it's nice. This is your third visit to us.
Yeah, third time.
Third time. Eventually, you're going to be here fourth time and fifth time and sixth time. And then eventually, you'll find some way to bump me off and you'll just take the whole thing over, and you'll be the king of Paranormal Radio.
Well, I just put down the purchase of a new radio transmitter today. So
it's starting. I'm telling you, he's up to something. I know. I feel a takeover coming here. So you had your Bachelor's Grove radio.
I had a radio that was going pretty well, and the main processor blew. And I'm like, well, I need to send data text over the radio. You see names and stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to go and just purchase new equipment anyway.
Oh, so you bought new stuff?
Well, it's in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, yeah.
So that's coming in. You're going to get your own
local, that Part 15
like
local,
like
no
a
license.
4-block range.
Yeah, something like that. But it's great for the Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah.
It's...
you were doing Bachelor's Grove Radio. I remember you had your little
and,
signs up in that. Yeah.
Yeah, so when they're at the Rubio Woods, before they go in or when they leave, they can just tune in. I'm going to shorten down the broadcast to like 15 minutes instead of, 4 hours or 2 hours?
It seems to be a trend now.
Too much.
What's that?
It was a little too much.
4 hours?
Yeah.
4 hours, you probably have a lot of dead...
Who's going to sit there that long anyway?
And you probably have a lot of dead airtime, too, but there's nothing really to talk about in 4 hours, don't you?
Well, there's a lot of stuff, and then some. It's just, it was like the first broadcast was during October. I wanted to just keep it on a loop. Mm-hmm. But, anyway.
Getcha. Yeah, because when you're doing a show for a long time, some shows are easier than others to do.
I want to give quick updates is really what it is.
What's
been going on lately? Here's what we got, and then move on.
Oh, like updates, any new information about the Grove or anything going on?
There's so much old stuff that's really interesting.
Of course, that's what people want to hear.
People throwing that in.
Sure,
Once
of course,
I did
people
that,
like
I'm
to hear all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's too long.
Yeah, these are the things people like to hear. Sure, they like to hear old things and experiences people had out there.
And I can't install a permanent transmitter out there. It's all mobile. I can rent space on the cell phone tower out there, but you know what? I don't make money with this. I don't intend to make money with this. That's not what it's about.
That's the thing. Unless there's, you're going to invest a lot in this, and if there's nothing coming back at you on it, it's not worth it. And you do it more for the labor of love, like for the joy of doing it. Yeah.
Because I don't want when I wanted to do Bachelor's Grove Radio, I didn't want it to be like a podcast because a podcast is not radio. So I'm like, I want that feeling. I'm a ham radio guy too, so I want that feeling of radio. So I want to put a real transmitter, up there.
A new trend now that people are starting to do. A couple of my friends are starting to do this one because I've been on a couple of these shows, and I'm going to be on another one coming up. They're doing these Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. We do Facebook, and they come on, and you're at a location, or you're
I'm enjoying that.
And they talk about it, and then they ask people, text their
YouTube's
questions.
been more reliable than Facebook, but Facebook draws
YouTube,
in more of a crowd.
Yeah, exactly. With Facebook, it seems like you're getting more of a listening audience.
Yes.
But with YouTube, it's nice because you're hearing it. You're hearing it live.
Well, their connection is better. I'll tell you that. It's just a better quality
See, the only thing with the Facebook is, okay, you're there, you're doing the show, for instance, like us tonight. Say we were doing this on Facebook Live, and we're talking Bachelor's Grove. Mm-hmm. Well, then someone will message us in, type in a question.
Which is what you should be doing, by the way. You should try that.
Try doing questions coming in?
Yeah, just have a laptop somewhere, or just a screen on the wall that you can read.
You got to talk to the tech person over here.
I will do that later. Yeah, that would be kind of a fun thing for you.
I'm all for it. That would be great. Yeah, I'd love to take calls. I really would. I'd love to take calls.
You don't have to type or anything. You just look up, and if you see it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Question comes in or something that we can respond to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That'd be great. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, like I was saying, and you're reading the question and then you're responding to it. So you have that little bit of time, like in between, like it's sort of like, okay, you're there, you're talking, and then you're stopping. You got to read the question that you're typing in, and then you respond to that. So you never hear the other person that's typing the question in. So that's the only bad thing about that. But they're good though. I think it's a good idea. So it's nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what would you like to talk about tonight?
That's up to you. That's why I bring you on here. You're the guest. What do you want to do?
Well, you know how I'm always about Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah,
right?
that's your specialty. So. Have you ever been, one thing I do want to ask you is, though, have you ever been on, outside of Bachelor's Grove, have you ever been on any of these investigations?
Very few.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not in this for the entertainment value.
Okay.
Even though it can be entertaining. And so Bachelor's Grove is more of a focal point that has so many interests for me, not just the paranormal. But when it comes to the paranormal, it's like I don't think I need to go anywhere else right now because
there's enough there.
It is active.
Yeah.
You know, move the BS stories aside. There's real stuff going on out there.
One kind of goes with the other, though, and I've always said this. You know, from day one that I've been doing this, I always said history and the paranormal are hand in hand.
Yeah.
They really are. History and paranormal, because when you're dealing with the paranormal, you're dealing with things from the past that are no longer with us, and that's where the research comes in.
Something historic just happened tonight.
What
of all
happened?
Times. Well, back in the 90s, there was a teacher that would speak about his story from the 60s, how he saw the blue light.
Oh, I know this one's a very long, lengthy story. Professor from one of the Catholic schools.
Exactly.
I know who that is.
Well, there was a question, did this transcript really exist off of a true recording, or is this all made up?
I could tell you.
Well, I have a copy of it as of tonight.
One of my good friends. As a matter of fact, he's actually working with me on a project. That was his teacher. And he says
I want to meet him.
And he says that's how he got involved in Bachelor's Grove, was through this story.
I left him a message.
He actually said this story. Did you leave the message to this?
At his school, on his voicemail service.
Oh, see, I don't know if he's still teaching. Cause this is
when I
ago.
called the school, he was still at this particular school. That
okay, so then he is still there, yeah. All right.
And they transferred me, and I left the message. I didn't get anything back, and I thought, well, that's not unusual because they were told don't talk about that story.
Right.
And I identified myself as part of the Bachelor's Grove Research Center kind of thing, so he probably put two and two together, or he didn't get the message. Didn't care, who knows, but I just chalked it up to he just wanted to be quiet. And I just
a very good friend of mine that's working on a project with me now. We're sharing a project that we're doing. That was his teacher, and he said that's one of the first stories he heard.
Him. Please try to get me introduced.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll talk to him, and I'll see what he can do if he has some kind of contact.
That story
with
means
him.
a lot to me.
Yeah,
that is a big
deal. He said that was the story he read to them, or he told them. He told the class.
Yeah.
And he says, this really got me interested in Bachelor's Grove. You know, me, not me.
It puts one hell of a twist if you remember the details of the missing boys and the blue light.
Yeah.
And there are parallels in this field between so-called paranormal and so-called ufology. Okay? And with this blue light phenomena, you're talking about possibly people disappearing. I don't want to say abduction here. But you got this parallel of a blue light that is seen these days in more of ufology.
Okay.
And you got people missing and then reappearing a couple weeks later.
Yeah, you think that
a
somehow
couple
that's
9-10-year-olds missing for a couple weeks and reappear,
and
all
then
they can talk about is a blue light.
Do you think it's a UFO thing, or it could be a time warp? Or for a couple
I don't know.
I
don't know where I want to, where all this
who knows?
is really going.
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm just saying that there's parallels in this weird phenomena. And so when you have something that hopefully it's true because it's interesting.
Yeah.
John Kroc, who's this teacher, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that is his real name.
That's
apparently.
his name.
So,
yes.
At least that at the school it showed up as a real name. So I'm assuming
I'll
everything
talk to my
real.
friend and see if there's some contact, some way he can.
He says he read
him.
these newspaper articles.
Okay.
And that's why they went out there, because of these missing kids.
Okay.
We can't find even Dale Kazmarek after he heard about this.
No record about it.
He didn't know about this until I posted it, and he went right to like Oak Lawn Library, and he says, "I can't find any newspaper.
Yeah.
I can't find anything yet." But people swear that they read this stuff
Okay.
outside of the John Kroc speech.
Yeah.
And Kroc doesn't sound like he's a load of crock. Okay, he sounds
just
like
possibly
he's
maybe
telling a true tale.
this was how many years back now?
Well, it's 63 is when it happened. To
Okay,
him.
so we're talking
Now,
quite a span of time.
let's say
So
the
maybe
newspaper-
63, they didn't really keep the papers and things around.
Right.
Some stuff we have, some we
But
don't.
even if
you
that's
know.
not true, even if there were no missing boys, he goes out there, they see a blue light, it goes over the pond, it chases them, they're driving away, it's chasing them as they're driving.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a hand-me-down story. This is a guy who now I even heard with his own voice. It's here's my story. And he's really excited about it, and he's telling all these kids about it.
About last, what would this have been? Maybe a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. My insurance man came over to the house because he had something to go over with me and something I had to sign. And I was listening to a tape, one of the broadcasts I had something in it about Bachelor's Grove. I think it was actually a tape I did with you. In Bachelor's Grove, it came up on the tape on the radio.
Okay.
And when I went to answer the door, I still had it playing. And when he came in, he heard Bachelor's Grove.
Nice.
And he said, "Oh my gosh, Bachelor's Grove." He said, "I haven't heard that in years."
Wow.
He said, "I've got a story to tell you about that."
Nice.
Now, not even knowing that I do any of this or I'm into this or
Sure,
any
right.
of this stuff or any of this. And he told me about the house. They saw the house.
No
He
kidding.
gave me the whole story about the house. And there were 4 of them in the car. It was like 63 or 64. He said he was the youngest one. He was 14 years old then. The oldest was 21. He owned the car that they went there with. And so they drove out there, and he says, we got like to the end of the trail. That's how he calls it, end of the trail. And he says, you could see this house, like back in the woods. You could see it. He says, you walked. He says, you seemed to never get up to it. And then it sort of just fizzled away, just sort of faded away up there. And I says, geez, could you describe the house? And he said, yeah. It was like a grayish-looking home, kind of like dimly lit. The boards on it, what I thought was interesting that he would remember, he says they didn't go horizontally, or vertically rather, they ran up and down.
Okay.
Rather than going horizontally.
Right now,
they ran horizontally. They ran vertically. The boards on the outside of the house, like for the siding, that's how it ran. And he says, yeah, it was just a weird thing. And he says,
I'll have to go back and look at the sketches again.
Yeah, and he said, one of the guys that we were with said, yeah, there's a ghost out here in this cemetery. And he says, that kind of freaked us all out, And he says 2 of the guys, or 4, I think 2 of the guys or 3 of the guys are still with him.
Did you have this guy's business card?
I sure do. I got.
Can you get him on?
Oh yeah. No, I've asked him.
Incognito.
He's also his children also are funeral directors too.
This should be, yeah.
And he says, I've never talked about this, from all these years. And he said, I just heard this Bachelor's Grove. And he says, we're not too far from it now. And I said, no, because where I live kind of close to Bachelor's Grove and that. And he says, my gosh, he says, that's really weird that came up like that, And so I asked him, I said, would you be willing to come on the radio? But he said, yeah, he says he would like to do it and that. And he's also going to meet the other guys that he was with, because I guess they still stayed close. And they're having some sort of a reunion coming up in July. And he said he's going to mention that to them. But I'm going to contact him before
it's
July
weird how that
rolls
stuff
around.
Works out.
Yeah. I'm going to contact him and see if
here's a weird
can,
one for me with Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah.
So for about the past week or 2, I've been meditating. I just close my eyes, do my thing. And I wanted to just get in touch so I can get this audio recording of this teacher. And I just kept going with it. And a few hours ago, somebody posted to the forum this audio clip.
Cool.
Now, this happens a lot for me. It's strange that way. These weird events. This is why I like the paranormal. I consider that to some level, when it's repeated, you keep doing this over and over and over again, it gets it's not coincidence. Now, could you be psychically picking up that this is about to happen? You play a game in your head. If you see the future, know what's going to happen, you play this game in your head. That's
possible.
One thing. I get that part if you want to go into the weird realm still. But there's this other part where you can throw this information out constantly, and people will pick up, and it's like they don't even realize that they're picking up exact thoughts, feelings, visions, pictures in their head, and they're relating them to you. And it turns out you're the one sending them that material. And that tells me that something's working, something weird's working. I don't know if we're getting off topic here. But
not at all. No.
But as far as coincidences...
Do we have a topic here? We just kind of talk, yeah.
But yeah, it's like that weird synchronicity thing. People show up and one thing leads to another. And
the gentleman I was just talking about that claimed, that he was with the guys, in 63 or 64, whatever year that was, and he saw the house back there. I asked him, I said, did you ever hear this story from anybody else? He says, no, just the 4 of us. We talk about it like that. But he said, never heard anybody else talk about this. So apparently it's something he doesn't research or get into or that, that kind of thing.
The average Joe kind of thing.
And I told him, I says, that's like one of the better known, more famous apparitions that happens. I said, you're kidding me. He says,
maybe
no.
he can draw a sketch.
Possibly.
We really need more
I asked
of that.
Even like the description, when I asked him to describe it, he says, oh my gosh, he said, this is so many years. But then he did. It came back to him and he said, yeah, that's what the house
I wish
looked
I
like.
had contacts with a professional police detective of some kind that does drawings. So that when those days come up and the people see the house, I can let them do the drawing as they describe it. That would be great.
Now there again too, there are a couple of supposed photos of it out there. I know.
You're talking about the solid looking ones or a transparency looking one, not the shenanigan one. Okay, because Mr. Edward. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst.
I know.
Yet famous things about Bachelor's Grove, like, oh, can you see the house? I see crap.
Exactly.
I
know. I know which one you're talking about.
House.
Yeah.
It's like a glare of some junk. I don't know.
I know which one you're talking about. And I feel the same way about that too. But there are some photos out there. But I haven't really seen any really good ones of it.
No,
I really haven't. So I don't know.
I just seen sketches from 2 ladies.
Yeah, people
that kind of
they're
stuff
sketching it from
Richard
memory,
Crowe
right?
days.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 women that really didn't know each other and said the story, and they both drew the same picture. Yeah,
and I trust Crowe, even though he did his tour thing. He had a real interest.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So, yeah.
Just was I think what day was it? Just I think 2 days ago or so was just the anniversary of his death. 6 years he's passed away. Yeah, it's amazing how time flies, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
How fast time flies. Yeah. Yeah.
We had a guy that drives a hearse to Bachelor's Grove almost every weekend. He visited Richard's grave on Memorial Day. Left him a little ghost.
I've seen it there. Yeah, there's a photo
in the center. It's like
somebody put a photo up. Yeah, there's
Buddha
it's a little
ghost
short.
or something?
Yeah. It's on by his tombstone there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when I saw the photos. I'm like, yeah, well, he showed up.
Yeah.
Said he was going to do it, and he did it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how this stuff works. Yeah. What amazes me now, like you say, you're doing this, like you're thinking about something, and then someone sends it to you, or it comes up, or whatever they get. What amazes me is people that don't know me and don't know that I do this, don't know I do radio, which of course not many people know that because it's not like a, this isn't like a famous show or anything. So it's just something I do, my hobby type thing like that. But people that don't know I'm even into the paranormal and that will just come up to me. And we start talking, and somehow the conversation goes to the paranormal.
Like
they
it
bring
naturally
it up.
gravitates
Yes,
to it.
and they bring it up in that. And I said, geez, it's funny that you're bringing this up. And
it's
then
probably not coincidence.
And then I tell them.
It's like that. There's something to it. There's something really working behind the scenes.
Possible, yeah.
In that realm, so to speak, that's causing that connection.
Because I've had people tell me stories, and I say, well, why did you tell me this story? And he says, I just thought you'd look like you'd be interested in this.
See, right.
And then I tell him, I say, well, this is kind of what I do.
It's like that intuition thing.
I've done a lot of research into this, and I do this kind of stuff. And then they say, then I'm talking to the right person.
That brings us to something even
not
more.
that I'm the number one expert on all of this, but,
Well, yes, you are, apparently. Yeah. But there was a guy. I was in the cemetery, Bachelor Cemetery, obviously, for about not even 5 minutes. Some dude comes walking in, and he goes straight to me. He goes, I don't know why. I just need to tell you this story.
See?
This is really
you
weird.
Get the same
I mean, he wasn't even really taking
me.
a look around. He just comes right to me. Turns out, I can't tell you his profession, but let's just say it's a credible profession.
Yeah.
Okay. And he used to, he supposedly didn't know who I was. And he kept making a big deal about this later on. It's like, I don't know why I told you this story. I don't know why. I just feel really compelled. And I went right to you. That's not normal for me. Anyway, he did something that was a little in a gray area. They, you ever hear about the Satanists out of the Grove?
Oh yeah, that's been going around for years.
Right, people in the robes and stuff like that. Whether they're really Satanists or
and
just
fires
or just in a robe,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I think maybe at one time that went on years back.
It's no, it still goes on.
I don't know if it still does.
I can tell you it does.
You think it still does?
Well, I'm not saying that they're doing like ritual, like, hey, hey, hell, Satan, whatever you want to call it.
I've gone out to the Grove and I've seen people chanting like up towards the trees and in circles around the trees and that kind of stuff. I don't know what they're doing.
Private prayer thing or whatever you want to call it.
I don't know if I'd really call that satanic worship.
But these guys, well, they look like Jedis. They got the hoods. They got you know what I mean.
I'd love to see him. I've never seen him out there.
So this guy, for many, many, many years, I kind of like this guy. He's pretty funny. So
now you're talking about this is the man that was talking to you.
This guy who just comes out of nowhere, doesn't even know why he's talking to me, starts telling me this story, this tale, and he wrote. It turned out 130 something pages of this story. He ended up giving me later. He hasn't really released it to the public yet, but he would intentionally go and have fights with these people in the robe. It is intriguing.
He'd go into the cemetery
to purposely seek out these people in robes to fight them. Him and his friends would train in pure darkness. I mean, before they would go into the grove to try.
Sounds like Jedi Knights or something. Jeez,
I mean, this guy's he's pretty far out. He's And I thought, he's not nuts.
Gonna have to point him out to me one time, Pete, because I know you're
I don't know if I'm allowed to yet.
I'll
talk to him on like audio only, but no video.
We can always when we're out there, if he's there, just like that's him.
Well, he really wants to. No, his profession, it would be.
I understand. Some people have to keep it secret. Yeah.
No, let's just say he can deal with things on a federal level as well.
See, this is another thing too. This is another thing that I got problems with this too. And there again, it comes to. We were talking about this earlier before we even did the show about legitimacy and credibility in the paranormal field. Why do we still have people that are doing this, but they're afraid to tell anybody about it? They're afraid to say what their profession is because this might contradict.
Oh, it can affect things.
But if this is a legitimate business, if we're going towards legitimacy and credibility with the paranormal and making it an actual science,
I'll give you an example.
Why are we getting people that
today,
are,
if people found out where I work, my job right now, you actually sign a disclosure agreement. You're not even allowed to tell anybody who you work for.
Okay, I could
see
that.
And there's certain reasons for it, because if you do something that's embarrassing, it affects the company.
Okay.
That's part of the and this is a very thick document I signed. No, so I can understand from an employment point of view. Being ridiculed by your peers is another thing. Maybe you won't get fired, but you'll get ridiculed.
Is that somewhat not discriminatory though? I mean, what you're doing at work,
you signed
and
for
what you're doing in your own time, that's your own business.
You can't go out of you cannot purposely divulge where your employment is. That's what you sign off on.
Okay, all right, not divulge. We're talking about two different things here. Yeah, fine. They don't want you to say where you're working or whatever
but
you're doing.
Who knows what other people are signing and doing.
If it's top secret research or whatever, okay, I understand that. But are you not free? Or you've done your work. You work your 8-hour, your 12-hour day, your 50-hour week, or whatever you work. You've done your time for the company. You've
Well,
done
I guess if it's not,
are you not free to go and do your investigations?
Oh, yes, you are. Sure,
and talk
sure,
about
sure.
your ghosts and do
Absolutely.
what you want to do. So why would that affect this? If they find out you're doing,
if
they find out you're doing that, why is it going to harm
what if,
you?
what if
in the
something,
first place, they don't even know where you work. So why would it?
And that's great. I don't want anybody to know where I work because of that. What if it embarrasses somebody up high up in some corporate thing?
Well, why would it embarrass them personally?
You never know. People got their reasons.
Why would it? If you have an employee,
what if it hits the Chicago Sun-Times and somehow the company's name gets thrown into the mix, and they're like,
well, why would the company's name? Now,
investors may not like it. Ridicule, laugh factor.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Credibility. That's why I like this business to be a credible business and to be recognized as something legitimate and not just hokey. Like it's sort of halfway now. We're kind of coming to the halfway point with paranormal, where some people are saying, yeah, there is credibility to this. People are serious about this. There is legitimacy in this field.
But then what happens is, if they got to use a phony name, then make sure everyone knows, hey, this is not my real name.
Yeah. Because I've run into this too. Even like some people I talk to. Sometimes people will talk to me and they say, but I don't want you to tell this story to anybody else.
Well,
and okay, fine, I don't.
You know,
all right. Like I've had people call me on the phone and relate things to me and stuff like that. But you can't tell this to anybody.
They're worried about. They want to talk about it, but they're really
okay,
worried.
And I respect
that.
Ready. Yeah, right. So that's fine with me.
And I even understand it to a degree. I had an event that happened to me last year at the Grove that was so spectacular that I tried telling the story a couple times, and I'm all about just telling it as it is, and people's eyes were rolling. I was looked at as a special needs kid, like, yeah, sure, kid, that happened to you, kind of thing. And that was the first time I had to really step back and go, I need to shut up. Certain things I need to shut up about. Because here's where it came down to. Where is it benefiting anything? I'm not here to entertain anybody. I'm here to understand it. You know what I mean? I'm not here for entertainment. So maybe if the right person comes along, maybe I'll tell those stories too again.
But is that... You see, you're saying entertaining. I don't know. Is that entertaining or is that educating?
Well, some of the stuff I'd have to say would be pretty damn entertaining. I mean, or you could just laugh at it and go, "Oh my God, that guy is crazy."
Well,
or whatever you want to do. That entertainment.
I'm sure. I've had some experience that I related to.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what I always say? I says, "Well, I'm just telling you my story, and if you believe it or you don't." I never try to persuade people to believe things that I believe or to convince them that I've seen something that I've seen or whatever. I just.
And then on the other hand, there was reasons if people heard it, I wouldn't want them to visit the Grove for the wrong reasons, because there's a benefit to some of these experiences that can be it can be taken the wrong way. It can.
Well, what would the wrong reasons be for visiting Bachelor's Grove?
Okay, let me sum it up into this.
What would the wrong reasons be for visiting Bachelor's Grove? If
you're going there for purely selfish reasons, whatever they may be, stay away.
Purely selfish reasons.
If you're going there for more spiritual, uplifting, good for you and everybody else kind of thing. That seems that's cool to me.
Okay,
but if I tell you of an experience that's going to draw you out there, and you're hoping to go out there to have the same exact experience, but you're looking at it from a purely selfish level.
Yeah, for self-gratification. I want to experience
this.
Not
so much self-gratification. How do I say this without giving away what happened? That's the problem.
Okay, let's put it this way. You and I and everybody else that knows about Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, which is a good percentage of the population, it's no secret, goes out there for one thing and one thing only. We're not going out there to have a picnic and to sit by the pond and relax. We're going out there because of the paranormal.
Sure.
That is the draw.
Yeah.
That's
most
what
of it
knows.
is. Yeah, sure.
That's the draw. So if you've had an experience out there, whatever that experience may be, and you're relating that experience to people, fine. Your experience may be something
I'll relate
different
most
from
experiences.
I mean, so many of these experiences are written about in books, told about on films, told in YouTube. Books and books and books all over the place written about this stuff and all that.
Some of the stuff I've never read, and it's happened out there.
Yeah. So and I've had something that happened to me out there that was never written about in any book because it's probably something that happened only to me.
Okay.
Some of these things it does happen. Like that. So entertaining, yes, possibly, but I think you're educating too.
I want to educate,
and you're relating an experience.
I don't mind if there's entertainment that comes out of it. But
there's nothing wrong with just relating a personal experience.
But anything that's from a purely selfish level, like pure selfish level.
Okay, for it being purely selfish, how would it be purely selfish?
How do I define it? Well, I mean, you go to the extreme of people that want to go out there and lock up the place and only want to charge admission so they can.
Okay, that would be selfish.
That would be
that
weird.
would be selfish.
Yeah, that'd be an obvious one.
You're doing it to make money on it. So
but then there's
we need to take a break, John. Oh, we're gonna hold that thought, Pete, for just a second. We've got to take our break here. We'll be right back, folks. Come back with us and listen to some more of this.
You're listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich and the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Wednesday, June the 13th, the year 2018. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich, Illinois. And now back to Bob Trisek and Paranormal Radio.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you so much, folks, for back listening with us here. Just in case you're just tuning in, or you maybe caught the broadcast in the middle on your YouTube channel or on Windy City or whatever, you fast-forwarded because you didn't like the beginning, which you heard. We're talking with Pete Crapia here, and we're just talking about different experiences, things happening at Bachelor's Grove and relating that, and sort of like reasons people would have for going out there, like selfish reasons or reasons for profit, that type of thing like that. So that's kind of where the conversation was. So now, Pete, you were saying, if you remember your last thought.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, from the selfish level, the easiest one that everybody could probably understand is if you're going to go out there to put a lock and key on the cemetery gates and only open it and close it if you hand somebody some cash.
But see, that's that would be an extreme case because it's not possible because you don't own the property.
Oh, people tried.
Yeah, but
they tried it in slick ways and they got burned and they didn't get what they wanted. But then there's like more softer ways of selfishness, and I'd have to really think up something that's more related to that. But yeah, I don't want to give us enough dead air. Me thinking about it here.
Okay.
But,
yeah. No, that's all right.
I mean,
yeah, I can understand. I can kind of see both sides of the story.
But what I like to do is see, like, one of my things was I always knew that. Well, for at least a long time. In the beginning, I fell for the police, giving you that intimidation factor. You're not allowed to be out there. And then I soon realized after starting the research, like, wait a minute, this place is not off limits.
It's not off limits, but
it's never been off limits. It's the illusion that it was off limits.
Yeah, it adds to the it adds more to the intrigue.
I mean,
they
didn't even officially vacate the road until '76. So technically, yeah, you could have kept driving on there, even though there were police chasing them out. Hey, well, technically, they had every right to use it.
Of course,
it was all this illusion thing.
When did the Cook County Forest Preserve actually take the property over? What year exactly did that happen?
What was that? 1930 something.
Oh, in that early,
right? And
so
they purchased the property for like around 100,
Cook County
120 grand, I think it was.
But before that, it was a private cemetery?
Well, the cemetery was founded after some dude just dies, nearby.
Yeah, we know that.
Bury him here. And so the Evertons, designated that as a little plot, But then the Schmidt family came in, bought the land from the Evertons. Evertons said, well, you have everything except the 1 acre of cemetery. Mm-hmm. But that was on the original deed that the Evertons still held.
Yes.
So when the Forest Preserves bought it from the Schmidts, they realized after they bought it, like, we don't actually own the cemetery.
Yeah.
So, but, and they
so
still didn't
own it. It's deeded to Cook County Forest Preserve. They own it.
It's not to the Forest Preserves, no. I mean, the property around it is Forest Preserves.
But the cemetery is not.
No, it went out to the real estate management office, and that's when things started to change a little bit, for good and bad, but... where are we at with this? But, okay, so, when I noticed that, hey, it's fine and legal, and we need more foot traffic, we need more people there because it's getting rid of the bad element, okay? And now today, it's changed. It's like
very
a park-like
much so.
setting.
Yes,
everything's trimmed.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Yeah, so mission accomplished there, and, no more real harassment by the police, except for maybe their trail camera that they have up there.
Never been harassed.
Did you see that thing?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, some people walk by and they're like, that's pretty awkward. Why is that there? Well, that's the cops.
I've never had any trouble with the police out there. They've always, anytime I've ever encountered them, they've always been very friendly.
Generally, they are.
The opposite, I have to say.
So here's a cool story now. So one day, this
are there any other ones but cool stories?
Yeah, well, the white van shows up to put another camera in the tree. Usually, there's only one out there at a time, but rumors are there's more than one, but I haven't found it. So the white van pulls up, and it's cops.
Okay.
So they're putting it up. One guy up on the ladder, he's doing his thing, huffing and puffing. He doesn't like that I have a microphone next to me, not a camera, but I'm off to the side in the cemetery. Well, he's outside the cemetery. I got this mic. I'm talking to myself. But he's off. He needs permission. And the other cop, he was pretty cool. Long story short, he came and he talked to me, and the cop divulged he was more interested in the paranormal. He didn't care about anything else.
Okay.
Okay? If this is his technique for fishing information, I think it's a poor technique.
Maybe that's why he's setting the
No,
camera up.
I think he
to
had
see
a
what he picks
sincere
up.
interest.
Maybe that's what he's setting the camera up for, to see what he picks up.
Well, I wondered about that too, but
Yeah.
we'll come back to that. I'm about to do a FOIA. We'll see what comes out of this. Well, anyway, so this cop is. We get on the subject of the trail cam. I'm like, I know this place has got stuff going on with it. I mean, you got these trail cams up now. You got to get something eventually. And he turned to me and he goes, as a matter of fact, we do. So this is another reason to do a FOIA, not just the only one, but apparently they have this, it's one of those motion-activated lights. Passive infrared needs a little differential heat, like body heat or something like that, right?
So this is installed fairly
even if it's extreme
low,
wind.
it's not a high up.
Well, it's about, 10 feet in the air.
Okay.
And so anyway, this thing's pointing down right from 10 feet in the air, and something sets off the motion sensor to trigger the motion, to trigger the video recording. And what they saw was just this ball of light. And it was just, in view.
Okay.
And it intrigued them so much they actually visited the cemetery that night to see what the hell was that.
Oh, they went back at night to see it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So this one cop was really intrigued. He goes, I look at these cameras all the time. Because I'm like, is it the infrared lighting coming off the trail cam, reflecting on something? I mean, he knew what I was about to say, and he just stopped me. He goes, no. It was nothing like that. He really got into the story. I really believe that they captured something. I don't think this is just another. I mean,
well, yeah, I would say the
talk
same
about
thing.
seeing things. Like
I'd have to see it for myself, but I really kind of.
Oh, see, that's the point. No matter how many stories you tell, you got to have your own story, your own experience. So balls of light out there, they do happen, and I got stories for years, but until eventually, when you see one yourself and even get to videotape one.
Those are probably one of the more
changes
common
the
things
game.
that happen out there are the balls of light. That happens quite frequently.
Well, people ask, do you go out there during the day or night to see more stuff? And I say, well, I've been out here during the day more than I have at night. And so I can't really give you a good percentage. The general public seems to be there more during the day than at night.
Of course, yeah.
But there's different levels of the phenomena. So nighttime would give you an opportunity to see a certain type of phenomena more easily, which could be the balls of light. Now, some of these balls of light show up with the naked eye, and some do not. But either way, if you're recording them at night, that even better. I guess you get this pitch.
Some body apparitions show up, on film, and not to the naked eye.
That's another thing. So if you're out there doing still photographs at night, that's a little rough.
Sure it is.
Then you start seeing faces in the trees, that kind of stuff.
It's
and
much
I'm
more
like,
easier to be mistaken. Yeah. My feelings about that are if something's going to happen or something's going to materialize, it's going to do it day or night.
Probably.
Not going to really matter much. I think a lot of what we've been led to believe is, this has to be done at night.
Everything's got to be done in the dark, right?
Yes, right. Now, but in a lot of the paranormal investigators, the way they justify that is they say, well, when we do this investigations and things at night, it's because it's more quiet.
Some things can be more active at night.
Possibly.
We don't know why for sure. We have all our theories.
Yeah, possible.
Sure, but they're talking about activity. Well, what kind of activity? So if we're talking about the Grove, what kind of activity is happening?
It could be anything.
That's
out
the
there,
non-human element,
right?
We're going to talk about people in robes walking around, getting their butts kicked, which brings us back to the guy who was talking to me.
Oh yeah.
So one evening they go out there. He finally has a team. He started off solo to do this alone. And he'd go in and
taking a chance.
And he would go in there at night, and stalk these people alone, or at least try to.
Okay.
Never successfully, says alone.
Okay.
And so when he finally got a team together, he had to have this close, like, welcome to the club. We're welcoming you into the thing. And now we're going to train you how to fight in case you run into these people, because that's why we're going out there. Well, they ran into one, at least somebody he was dressed in this black cloak. And so, long story short, he's wrestling with one of them. And he's got a hold of him. And he rips his garment right off. And the guy got scared, so he let him just... He leaned back and let the garment just fall out of his body so he could take off into the woods and get away. And the guy showed me a picture of it. It's pretty interesting. It's a homemade thing. Now, what's interesting about these stories is, are they real?
Is this something real, or is it? Here's my thing. Is this real, or is he staging this?
That's what I thought, maybe.
Or why are you doing this? Are these people harming you by going out there with their robes and doing their worship?
The robe people
do.
Some of these robe people are specifically going out of their way to inflict at least some mental trauma on people out there. They really are.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, I know for sure. I know for sure, and a few people.
So some of these supposed,
Yes.
if they are indeed satanic
His stories
worshipers,
are matching up with the stories that I've been given over the
they're
years.
going out to inflict. Now, if they're out there and they're by themselves,
They
and
won't
they're back,
confront you.
they will.
They'll try to scare the crap out of you.
Well,
And that to me is enough
I
to
think most people, if they see somebody at night
Oh,
or day, you see
Sure.
a group of people dressed in monk-like robes with
They'll
hoods
be-
over their heads.
they're not just
it's
one
going
person.
to be somewhat.
They're a group.
Yeah, well, that's going
And
to
when
be
the
a little.
group surrounds you at night in the woods,
That would scare me right there. It would scare.
you-
I think most people would tend to be a little frightened by
well,
something
I would
like
confront them. I've gone and confronted people on not road people, but
that. I have to say, if
Probably
I'm
not a wise
standing,
thing, but I've done
if
it.
I'm standing in the middle of a circle, and there's a bunch of robed, hooded peoples in a circle standing around me, and I'm in the middle of that circle,
Yeah,
my
that-
first thing would be, "Excuse me, folks, I have to leave now. Can I get by? Thank you." And I head right down that path,
you know what the
and out
next
I go.
hilarious? No, you grab that microphone you got.
Well,
You
yeah,
say,
I'm going
"Sir,
to be out there with a microphone now. I'm
sir,
not gonna-
why are you out here tonight?"
Oh,
Tell the
I
audience.
would. Yeah, if they would. Oh, trust me, I would love to get a couple of devil worshippers and satanic worshippers on this show, and Wiccans. I'd love to get some people on. I've been trying it for years.
Well, if I can get you out in the woods at night with them,
we can get them.
and you record and have an interview, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you sure?
Sure, I would. Of course, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as somebody's there with you, right?
I'm not going to do this by myself, no,
Right.
because I don't know these people, and I don't want. I would not want them to think that I'm there. And
Well,
some
when
way
I
to
have the
threaten them.
opportunity-
I would not want them to think that I'm there to threaten them. And likewise too, I would not want them.
That's
to
like
threaten me.
interviewing the Klansmen of the South during their ceremony. I think that'd be pretty hilarious.
Well,
I got a weird sense of humor.
You know what? I'm all for hearing anybody's story. I may not agree with what they're doing.
No, right.
You know,
Yeah,
especially
I
if they're
don't
doing
agree with
something
it.
destructive. I don't agree with
And
that.
that's what
I don't,
conflicted
you know.
me. Here's a guy going out there to beat the crap out of people at the Grove, and I'm conflicted.
Yeah,
but
see,
then
now,
I find
but
out.
now he's doing this. Now, how does this make him above these people?
Well,
He's just as
here's
bad,
the-
if not worse.
Maybe-
you know,
maybe.
if indeed they are even doing
at
anything
first glance,
damaging,
yes.
You know,
and I'm agreeing with you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my 1st impression to some degree too. But here's where you wonder: are his stories real?
that's what, my
Okay,
first thought that
so
came into my
one
head
of the
when I'm hearing
people
this.
dressed
Is
in
this
a
something
robe-
he's staging? You know,
I know one of the people that dresses in a robe, and they put the robe on me.
Okay.
I've worn this robe, tried it out.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard this story before.
No, I did not hear this
It's
story.
ridiculous, okay?
okay.
And
If it's got anything to do with you, it's got to have something ridiculous
Exactly.
to it. So.
Well, one of the stories was somebody she knew. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to, violate something. But somebody she knew was in the back of her house in the woods there by the Grove, and got attacked, and they ripped their garment off. Now you got a guy.
Now, when you say he ripped the garment off, they're taking the robe.
The robe.
off.
It was
Okay.
This one was a homemade robe.
Okay,
That's what we call a garment.
Okay.
Okay, but I guess the hood part was part of a hoodie the guy was wearing, but the rest of the cape looking thing.
Like a caftan or something.
We'll get around
Yeah,
it.
Okay.
Once he says it's okay to publish the photo or whatever, and I'll say, hey,
Okay.
here it is.
Mhm.
But so we got this guy's
I'd
story.
like to get him on this show.
And I asked him, I go, either you're not telling the truth, or you're a good psychic. Because I got, on one hand, I got one person telling me one story that is now matching exactly where you're happening in the location where you're telling me it's happening.
Okay.
What the hell's going on here? It's probably true. And then you got this other story where one person's crying and hugging a tree in the cemetery at night,
Mm-hmm.
scared, while another person is either drunk or high, laying on the ground, can't move, and you got robed figures by the pond. Okay, and this hero, this guy who's going to attack the robe people, comes out there at night, decides he's doing a good thing because he's helping the lady screaming and crying by the tree and getting this guy.
Well, she's a fool. If this is going to upset you, and you're
He-
going to be,
he saw
what
the
is she
people.
doing out there screaming and crying, holding a tree? If you're that afraid to be there in the first
because
place,
the robe
don't go.
the robe people were doing this to them. Now it turns
Doing
out
what to them?
scaring them.
Oh, well, just seeing them would scare you at night. Of course.
Now
you'd
I
be
heard
scared.
about this story before I met this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that story's obviously got to be true.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So he's doing a good thing to some degree.
Mhm.
I personally wouldn't go out of my way to go beat the crap out of
I'm not going to
anybody
go
like
beat
that.
anybody up. I don't care who they are. That's not
You know,
right to do.
It's the
I
male
don't care who they are.
testosterone thing in you.
No, that's not
he
right
was
to do to
young when this
anybody.
happened. No, remember this too. He was younger when this happened.
Okay.
He's an older guy
So it's
now.
not something he's still doing.
No, he's not 40 years old going out.
Okay.
No. These are, you know what I mean? You're young.
That's-
You're ambitious.
So now you backed up what I was saying in the first place. This is a long time ago. I don't think this
This is a
going
long
on. I don't
time
think
ago.
This is still
This is a
going
very-
on. What you were just telling me, I thought this was something that recently happened.
Well, no, not like super recent.
Oh,
no.
so then I was
No.
right. So this isn't really going on now. This is
Well, there's
before.
other stuff. No, what's going on now is
I can remember back in the day, like in
One
71,
person,
72,
this one lady-
going out to Bachelor's Grove, and you'd see fires and remnants and things, and
Yeah,
and
that kind
animal
of stuff's still
carcasses
going
and
out
stuff.
there. Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
see that, so you knew something was going on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the animal carcass thing or what kind of animal you're talking about, but I
yeah.
mean, we get our fires, but I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, it could be the average Joe. I don't, lighting.
I never understood that either. If you're going out to a place like this and you want to do something out there, why are you lighting a fire? That's going to
I
attract
got
attention
photos
to you.
of guys in tents in the cemetery, and they have a little teeny little fire going.
Mm-hmm.
Or the aftermath the next morning, which was really ignorant and rude to have the fire there. But you want to pitch your tent, that's fine.
Yeah, but you know what? If they're out there doing their worship or their rituals or whatever they've got, do they also not have a right to be there like anybody else if they're not really harming anyone?
Oh, your religion's your religion.
And
that's
doing
fine.
anything exactly, they're not doing anything destructive. I mean, I may not.
No,
it may not be for me.
No,
but I mean,
as long as you're not causing physical damage.
So why do you feel compelled to go out there and you have to beat these people up or whatever? And
because you know how it is when you're young and you have something different going on in your head.
Okay.
He wasn't, I don't see him anymore as the bad guy because he did some good things.
Okay.
When he got attacked and wrestled, because they didn't really get to fight a lot of these people. The only real altercation, it seems, was, physical, turned out to be the time when he ripped the garment off.
Okay.
And that was when they were just leaving, taking the back path to get out of there through the woods. And there's these two paths that converge. And apparently the guy in the robe didn't realize he was going to run into these other people as well. And so the guy in the robe kind of, I guess, roostered up, so the story goes. Maybe he was scared, whatever, how that is really went down. But now, hey, the party's on. We're going to fight. And that... But there was his buddies were in the woods, and they were like throwing rocks and sticks at him.
Oh, for Pete's
out of
sakes.
Nowhere.
Now you see why they don't want people out there. Of course, if this kind of
Well,
nonsense is going to go on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're out there doing legitimate study and investigation, and that's different. But
there's
then
good
this
and bad things.
Of course. See, and then this.
The dangers of the grove. There are dangers.
Well, that's a danger. They're causing this danger themselves.
I've had rocks and sticks thrown at me while I had headphones on by the pond.
Well, the way you talk,
you
it
know
doesn't
what?
surprise me
There's
that they don't throw pianos at you. And,
I love it.
You're walking by windows and one
When they
doesn't
did
come
that,
down on your-
I walk straight up to these people. I have a little chat.
I've never had that happen. Of course, I really.
These are
at nighttime,
kids, though. These are just kids.
Yeah, they're just goofy. They're fooling around.
They thought
yeah.
he ain't gonna know who did it. He's wearing headphones or whatever, and he's looking the other way. No,
but see, that's why then you wonder why they don't want people out there at night and this kind of thing and that, because you don't want trouble going on.
Honestly,
things.
I think the cops love it. They got it. No, they put this public crap that this face they put on. Oh, gotta goody. You know what? This camera deal. These guys came in. They screamed at me. Don't you put this on the internet? Don't you publish? We're putting these cameras up. Yeah, why? Because you're gonna do us harm. You're gonna ruin everything. I go, okay, let's say the whole public knows the cameras are up. That's a good thing.
Now. Well, whoever listens to the show does.
Because they're like, oh, we better not do anything wrong because they might film us. So that's a good thing.
Well, why? You don't want to be doing...
They're having fun with this crap. They want to just catch people and have fun.
It wouldn't bother me.
Or...
those kind of cameras would not bother me any more than having surveillance cameras in a store or a business or anything else. If I'm not doing anything wrong, I don't care that they film me.
Why is the real reason the cameras are up? Because...
Maybe they're just trying to catch some of the activity in the summit.
That's what I'm wondering.
Not
because
the human activity, the mortal
there's
activity.
Motorcycles and everything going under these cameras while I'm there, and the police never show up. People going out there at night in groups, certain high-profile people doing paid tours at night through the cemetery in groups. Cops never, and they're walking right under these cameras. I know they are.
Not realizing they're doing it.
And no, I apparently not. And some of them actually did, and it makes me even wonder.
High-profile people?
I consider them high-profile, meaning they're authors and make money and whatnot.
Okay.
What I'm saying is they're known people that go and one of them was drunk, goes in there and is supposedly incognito, dressed up, in their outfits. And anyway, I got really weird stories. But they walk under these cameras and nobody's doing anything. It's so rare that I ever hear them actually doing anything.
Then what's the purpose of even putting them out there?
That's what I'm wondering. So I haven't done my FOIA yet because it'll draw more attention. Now, if I don't get some real answers...
Maybe if they get enough of these weird things going on there at night and these fights
and what are they going to...
and these drunk people going on...
Well,
whatever. If they get enough of this on film, maybe this is a legitimate reason for them to say, look, we need to close this cemetery off.
Well, they can't. They can't. But that's a whole other hour. I don't want to eat that up. But even with the one officer...
you're talking about a legal matter.
Even the other officer standing there who wanted to lock it up and making his little comments, the other officer's like, they're not going to lock them. They can't do it
No,
because he agrees with me. He knows all the legalities of trying to do such a thing.
But see, when people are doing
and
crazy
I would be in a
stuff
courtroom
like this,
pretty fast if the day ever came.
But see, honestly though, Pete, now when people are doing crazy things like this makes it bad for everybody else that wants to go there to investigate, wants to go there for the legitimate
Well,
reasons.
you know what? Your nighttime investigations are over as far as legalities are concerned. I tell you what, the best advice I can give you is do a documentary. Get your filming permit.
Oh, God,
hourly.
so many of that. It's been done and redone so many times on Bachelor's Grove.
I'm not talking Ghost Adventures. I'm saying if you are just a mom and pop and want to go in there at night,
Sure.
grab your camera, pay your permit fee, go in there and do it legal. You're not going to get a general nighttime permit. You are a low-budget filmmaker, okay? This is how this is going to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's been working, okay? And I'm not talking about Ghost Adventures. That's a little bit more money.
Gotcha.
But your average people, I mean, if you're listening out there, if you want to go in there at night, you are a documentary filmmaker paying your fees. And these fees do go back to the cemetery now.
Oh, good.
You know, your trimmings, your
So
path
to use that to
trimming.
repair the fence.
Who do you think
to
pays for that? It's
cut
tax dollars.
Sure, to cut the grass there and that. Sure,
So you are giving back.
Yeah, well, if it is Cook County property and they do cut the grass there and
Yes,
that
they do.
is, technically they are responsible for it. So yeah.
This is a good thing. This is
Yeah,
not necessarily
yeah.
a bad thing, and it is a thing to do if you want to go in there at night, and not damage. You're not obviously not going to damage the place doing that. If you got the money, you can go in there and pay your fee, and it's actually cheaper than what it used to be, unless you're doing an all nighter.
What do they? I don't even know what do they charge now for a permit.
Well, it depends on your level.
Why would they charge you for a permit to go only in at night and not charge you for a permit during the day?
It doesn't have to be at night.
So technically during the day you still have to get a permit too.
See, the thing was, if you got the permit, you can close off the area for your activity.
Ah, okay.
Okay. The whole reason for needing a permit, that's a whole nother discussion. But let's say the bottom line is you don't want to disrupt the flow of traffic, whether that's cars, foot traffic, whatever. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but it's like you get your permit and you get it to yourself. That's the point for the X amount of time that you paid.
Okay.
The old days are gone, where you could just have a blanketed fee and just spend all night till morning.
I didn't know that anybody
Now
paid
it's like
fees to go in there. I thought they just all go in there.
$250 to $400 per hour. It all depends on what you're doing. You could do still photography or filming. There's different tiers. Okay, this applies to other locations, not just Bachelor's Grove.
Of course, yeah, this is everywhere. Yeah.
So
This seems to be a trend down Paranormal too, where they're buying these old. I've talked about this before too. They're buying old warehouses, old school buildings, old closed asylums or whatever, and renting them out to paranormal investigations.
That part, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Is there something going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I was invited to where they film Shawshank Redemption again. What's that prison?
Oh yeah.
I was invited to go out there, and I went in there once, and it was pretty cool. Somebody paid their money for me. That's fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone. You ask about if I go anywhere else. It's rare.
Yeah, I don't know if I would.
But when I went, nothing happened.
Big deal. Yeah,
it was
right.
cool. Old prison.
Yeah.
But
if you're invited as a guest or whatever, okay, fine. But like you said, I don't know if I'd pay to do it. Yeah.
It's got to be pretty cool if I'm going to pay for it.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm
Area 51 paid tour. Hey, take my money. Take my money, please.
Yeah, it's getting kind of ridiculous.
Can I go to never mind.
Yeah, some of this is getting a little borderline crazy. I think some of these are just fake haunts. I think they're just buying something that looks creepy enough, and you create haunts in them, and that's it.
Especially all these haunted hotels.
Yeah, haunted hotels, haunted abandoned warehouses, abandoned schools, abandoned asylums.
I had one film documentary call me or email me and then call me, asking about if they can stay at my hotel, my Bachelor's Grove hotel. I'm like,
do you have a Bachelor's Grove hotel?
This is a cemetery, man. This ain't a hotel.
Yeah, where'd they get that from? Yeah.
Yeah, our bad. And
back in the old days, once upon a time, it was a little community. There might have been a hotel there, but not now.
Technically, there actually kind of was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems to be getting a little crazy. But my feeling is everybody has a right to be there, and everybody should just get along with everybody else.
If you want to experience something out there, take some of my advice for what it's worth. Go in there sober. Number one, don't go in there stoned. Don't go in there
don't
drunk.
drink anyway. I don't do that anyway, so
I'm
don't
seeing
matter
a lot
to
of
me.
more people out there dabbling in their marijuana and drinking, and that's fine.
And this is going to make things bad too.
No, no, people won't really. You don't smell it too much.
It's got
Nobody
nothing,
know they're
no, it's
doing
got
it.
nothing to do with that. But if they're doing this, and then if they're causing trouble, if they start fights out there,
the trouble's not really. That's rare. I mean, this is going to sound bad, but I mean, a few months ago we had somebody shoot up the garbage can with a .45 caliber.
Oh, that's a nice thing to do too.
Yeah,
Isn't
right.
that
I got the
nice?
shell from it. But
Yeah,
you know,
that's nice.
that's like it's been so many years since anything that extreme, and honestly, to me, that's kind of petty.
It's kind of stupid.
They
Why
weren't
would
shooting
even-
the headstone. They were just, they were probably a couple of kids, who knows.
Yeah, and I'm really, I'm surprised at you even saying that you condone this kind of stuff because
I'm not condoning it,
because
but I'm
you
not
are
going
the
to hide
one.
it. I'm just
because
saying.
you here, Mr. Clean Up the Grove, and I want it looking this way.
But you
and all
can't
this.
fight everything in life. Life is dirty. You got to get your hands dirty, and not everybody's going to be squeaky
I'm
clean.
not buying that, Pete. I'm not buying it. If you want to keep the Grove clean, you want to keep it nice and all that, you shouldn't be having
Well, you
fights out
can't
there.
lock it up.
You shouldn't be having drug
That's
abuse
it.
going on out there. You shouldn't be having alcohol abuse going on out there.
Marijuana's not a drug.
Well, yeah, not now. It's not, but
No, it's not a problem.
no, someone doesn't need to
But
be
what
go
I'm
out there with
saying
a
is,
gun and be shooting. There's no
If
reason
you're looking for
them.
something spiritual, if you're looking for something interesting, even
And
if,
what
it's,
if they
if
had
you're
this
going out there
gun?
for curiosity,
What if they had this gun and something startled them, and they turned and fired, and accidentally shot
you know
someone?
how many people are walking around with guns? It's not a big deal.
But if the gun is drawn and it's
So
out,
what?
it's in their hand. They were shooting a garbage can.
Yeah.
Something could have startled them. They turned and fired accidentally, and
Well,
someone
somebody
could have
could
got
hit me
killed.
with a hammer too, but
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. Am I worried about it? No.
You keep that up, I might be hitting you with a hammer.
So
here.
I've been around enough guns. It's not a big deal to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
most
They
most
shouldn't
people
be.
are level-headed enough.
Yeah.
And so if you go out there, we had the one cop Joe. I forgot his last name now, but anyway, famous Joe who issued a lot of tickets to people over the years for the Grove. He talked about all the weapons he took off.
Tickets
of
for
people.
what?
For just being out there, at night.
They can't do that though.
What do you mean? At night?
Oh, at night they can't because you're not supposed to be in the
It used to be 25, then 50. Now it's like $75.
Yeah, yeah.
Give you a ticket. Anyway,
Because you're not supposed to be in any forest reserves at night.
At night,
Yeah,
right?
mhm.
Unless you're in the campgrounds.
Yeah.
But that's another topic, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool. And but he'd find weapons on people all the time, but never a real gun. He says he's never found a real gun on any of the people he's ever searched.
What has he found?
Nunchucks, ninja swords, you name it.
Those
You know what I mean?
Guns. No.
Bats.
I'm thinking, what has he got? Water pistols and BB guns, or
People
what?
have BB guns,
Yeah.
but never a real gun. I found plenty of stuff in a certain area. It seems like bottles of alcohol and weapons always in this one area by the roped off entrance. I'm assuming that they see cops, so that everyone's ditching their crap, before the cops.
See, they shouldn't be doing that in there, though. They don't. If you
Well, they're
Why do
scared.
you have to go out
They're
there?
scared.
Why do you have to go there to drink and to do this? You can
You
go
don't,
somewhere else.
you don't
and
need
do
to.
it.
Well, here's the point. Some of them think like they need to get drunk or at least smoke some weed so they can have this experience out there.
Oh, please.
I'm going to tell you right now, folks, from my experience being out there for over 20 years, it is never going to happen. It's just you got to be in this peaceful state, this that you get. It never happens when you're thinking about the paranormal. It's always like random. You're at peace. At least for me, every time I've had this weird experience of some kind, I'm always at peace. There's something to say about
that would make more sense to me than
you are a tool. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you can, the way that you tune in with your environment, if you're at peace, obviously I've stumbled on like that. There's something to this. For me to have to be at peace for this to happen, it's some sort of key, some sort of part of the puzzle.
Exactly. If you want to drink and you want to do your drugs and you want to do your stuff or whatever, like there's other places you can go do that.
Go do somewhere else.
And you want to fire your weapons, you don't have to go to Bachelor's Grove.
Well,
to
they
fire
were
your
probably
weapons and
alone.
do this
Who in
and,
their right mind would do it when there's everyone
No,
around
that's
anyway?
kind of silly. Why would you even do it in the first place?
I had a guy who was driving down the road in Nevada, and he just pulls out a gun in the passenger seat, and he's like, "You mind?" I'm like, "Mind what?" "I want to shoot the sign outside your car." I'm like, "Oh my God." And he doesn't even bother, getting the answer. He just starts firing the gun outside the car window.
Yeah, Teddy, you got to
But
be so careful.
There's people, but there are people out there. They're rambunctious.
They're nuts.
Oh, I know. If
this is what happens. That's why
I
people,
can handle it. Like, oh boy, rowdy Piper here. Then that's cool. Whatever.
Don't ever think yourself invincible.
Oh, it would get
someone's
me-
got a gun and you go up against a gun. You can go down just like anybody else can.
The worst that happened is he dropped the gun out the window, and then I'd laugh at him. And then when he asked me to turn around, I probably wouldn't have gone. But because you're the dumbass who brought a gun and wanted to fire it out.
Who was this
the
guy?
car
Just some
window.
guy you picked up and said,
No, I worked with him.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, somebody
I
you
brought
knew
him
at
out to the
least,
desert and one of my favorite spots to watch weird activity in the sky, but that's another discussion.
Okay.
And he thought it was insane that I would go out to this desert all alone all the time and sit up at the top of the peak of this mountain.
That's not. I think that's.
And it scared the crap out of him, which is why he brought the gun.
I think that's a good thing.
And I'm going to tell you right now, the guy was high as a kite.
Okay.
But he didn't harm anybody, never has.
If you're going, you're kind of defeating the purpose.
He shouldn't have been
If
high.
you're going out to these places,
he was.
if you're going out to these places with the hopes of having some sort of an experience.
Right. Which
and
he didn't.
And then you're getting yourself high when you're going out. You're not going to know what's happening. Hey, something could happen.
Well, there's another
you're not
aspect
know,
too, right?
I don't know. It's kind of, I'm a little kind of.
Just be sober. You want to have a good time? You don't need to get high. Just be sober.
Yeah, I'm a little miffed with that one because I'm like, why would you go out there to get high and get drunk?
No, you're ruining it. You're ruining it.
You don't need to be doing that. No.
Some girl gave me.
You don't need to be doing that any place. But if you have to do it, why do you have to go out to?
You don't have to go. Go out there sober.
Yeah.
And then some people are going out there first visit at night, which is don't do that. Do it during the day, please.
Because you can see what's out there.
Are we approaching our top of the hour here?
We are approaching the top of the hour. Something tells me you want to get out of here. So
no, I don't. I just don't know what your thing is.
8 o'clock. No, we're about done. Yeah. If something comes up,
sometimes we go an hour and a half, but I think we pushed it. I'm not sure.
No, we do. If the conversation's going, in a good way, we can continue it. But, did you have anything else you wanted to cover tonight?
No, not tonight because there's a lot that's been going on behind the scenes, and we can just get into it at another time. But a lot of stuff going on with the Grove. Have fun, be sober, and visit safely.
There you go. Enough said. Okay, thank you, Pete. As usual, it's always great having you come on here. You come back anytime you'd like to, sir.
I appreciate it. I love doing it.
Yep, anytime you want to come on here, come out here. And then also, too, with your radio thing, good luck with that when you get that up and running and get that going. So,
I'm doing little tidbits,
we'll be looking forward to that.
Putting some stuff online in little teeny-weeny ways, that are interesting.
I'll have to know when you're out there with the radio, and I'll be a guest on your radio show.
I want to do live stuff.
Role. Yeah, we'll reverse
That'll
it.
all come down the road. I got my eye on like $1,000 type of transmitter for live stuff, and but that's when you got spare cash to throw.
You got to talk to this gentleman right over here, John DeVitta. He knows all about transmitters and this and that and the other. He's been in radio since there's been radio.
Mm-hmm.
I think didn't you help Marconi when he developed it? Or
I tied his shoestrings.
That's right. Yeah, you guys installed the set on the wireless set on Titanic.
You got a telegraph. You got a telegraph key in there.
He sure does. Yeah. There's a transmitter.
Yep, I've seen that exciter. Yeah.
There you go. See, he'll sell you that one.
No, I can't do that much wattage.
Okay, that's about it for us, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Paranormal Radio. John DeVitta, thank you, sir. It's always a joy allowing me to come back and do these. Like you said, it's kind of iffy. I'm not certain if we're going to be doing the show next week. If I can get a hold of the guests, they've been kind of unavailable. But we'll see if they get me. We'll have them come on. And oddly enough, we're doing a show about drug abuse, a show against that. So it's sort of a public service show. We'll be doing that next week if we get them to come on. If not, we will be doing our live broadcast on July 17th. John knows it off as, yes, July 17th. That will be at the Gathering Lighthouse out in Lombard. Do you know their address? You don't have their address. But they've got a real nice Facebook page in it. And you got the address on there and everything. And then you can see the other activities they got going on at the Lighthouse, too. They got all kinds of stuff going on there. You might like the Lighthouse.
Yeah, I'm going to try. During the week is really hard for me. I can do this because I actually work near your...
Oh, that's good. So it kind of works out nice for you. Yeah, I know. Some people, that's what's tough. Most everybody's got another job or they're still working in that, so it's a little tough. Yeah, everybody doesn't have that luxury of time.
Some pre-research material for your heroin people. So before you have your show, research psilocybin magic mushrooms and the use of getting rid of heroin addiction.
Okay.
Getting rid of it.
Psilocybin magic mushrooms. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Look into it.
At first I thought you were putting me on.
No, put them on the spot. Bring it up, see if they know about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, it's interesting research.
Yeah. I would have known that when I went to the lecture that I heard her at, yeah.
So, it's not legal in the States.
Okay, John. Yeah. X-Files music. Pete, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tricek from the John DeVitta Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. Paranormal Radio was directed by John DeVitta, and our special thanks to the executive producer of Jack FM 89.7, Mr. Kevin Zeflik, and the executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, Mr. John Chikanda. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Monday, June the 11th, the year 2018. Until next time, thanks for listening. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM, Norridge, Illinois.